Good evening, everybody. Yes, obviously, I am not Gary unless he's changed since last week. He will be with you all shortly, but he is running a little bit behind this evening. So he will be joining us imminently. In the meantime, if you're out and about this weekend and you are investigating, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're going this weekend and who you're going with. Are you out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or are you out all 3 nights, or are you just out on Halloween? So who are you spending it with and what are you all up to? So because tonight's show is all about Halloween, but it's open mic, so it's about you, the audience, and what you're up to. Hi, Rach, Nigel, Gemma, Dawn, Michelle. As I was just saying, Gary will be with you all very soon. He's just sent me a message. He will be with you all shortly. Hi, Kath. Hope you're all well. So this weekend, Saturday, Keep Paranormal are going with Lost Souls Paranormal to Derby. Thanks, Rach. I know I'm better looking than Gary, but, you know, it's not exactly hard, is it? Come on. And then on Sunday, it's double bubble this weekend. And on Sunday, going to be at Bosworth Hall Hotel with the Haunted Live team, Andy and Paul, Jason and Simon. Looking forward to that because only Haunted Live do Bosworth. So it's the only time you get to go and investigate there. I know there's lots of people heading up and down country to join the Haunted Live guys on Sunday. I know some people are already at Bosworth and are spending a few days there. Gemma says she can't wait for Derby on Saturday. That she's looking forward to it. Yeah, me too. I've never been. So anybody that's in the comments, have you been to Derby? And if you have you had any experiences? But not just that. Like I said, tonight's about Halloween. So have you had any experiences on Halloween or leading up to Halloween? And if you have, let us know. We will drop in the comments the link to join on screen. And if you've got a story to tell, why not come on live and tell us about your experience in your story. Here he is, Mr. Fields.
Good evening, young lady.
Good evening.
Thank you for holding the fort.
Well, you're very welcome. I have asked the public watching tonight if they've had any experiences at Halloween. Also, hi, Gaz, you have changed. You look so much like Karen. Oh, I'll tell you what. Just because it's Halloween, don't push it, guys. Just because I don't know which one of you it is that's.
I haven't got that one in yet. You're looking very suave today, Kaz. What's the matter?
Excuse me? Rude.
You're looking lovely and suave today.
Looking lovely and Gary Fields. I look lovely and suave every day. I'll have you know. I love you. Well, Gary, you know, it's not that's not the time, is it, to be saying things like that live on a feed in front of all these people.
I'm just.
I know you do, but you know it's only natural.
I'm just.
But anyway, back to tonight's show. I've asked the lovely audience to let us know where they're going to be this Halloween. Also, if they're an experience over Halloween, and to let us know what they are all up to. And as Mr. Fields is here, I am no longer holding the fort. I will allow him to crack on. Enjoy your evening because you're here to see Gary and not me. Shall we do our little announcement first, just before I go? Just to let everyone know.
Sounds good to me.
Tonight is the last ever show on the Keep On Chatting network. As of the end of this week, Keep On Chatting is going to be no more. Due to other commitments, I don't have the time to spend like I used to on helping all the guys with their shows and getting them all sorted and all the advertising and so on. So unfortunately, sorry to say, guys, but I have taken the decision to concentrate on other things, and we are shutting down the Keep On Chatting. The YouTube channel will still be there. You can still go back and watch all the old shows that have been on. Agaza, you just go on his page. He's always rocking up on there. You never know when he's going to be on from one week to the next. So if you still want to see Agaza, go over to his page and check his page out and see him over there. As for the rest of us from Keep Paranormal, keep following the Keep Paranormal page, and we'll be doing live feeds and so on from there, but we won't be doing them on this page anymore. It will be removed from Facebook also. But like I said, the YouTube channel will still be available for you to watch. So, Gary, it's your show. I hope you have a great time with everybody tonight, and I will see you, sir, on Saturday.
Yes, and a pleasure. And
over and out.
As they say, thank you for your time, and thank you for all the amazing support we've had over the last 18 months, 2 years. Yeah. It's been a nice journey, and again, as they say, onwards and upwards, and we keep moving forwards, and that's what it's all about. It's about keep moving forwards.
I know. Sad to see it go, but I can't spread myself any thinner. So, but yeah, it's come to that time. We've had a fantastic 18 months. I just want to quickly, before I go, I want to thank every single person that has done a show on the Keep On Chatting network. All of you supporting us, the public out there, all those people that have shared all the live streams, promoted them, invited people to all the events and so on. It's very much appreciated. We can't thank you all enough. And like I said, stay with us, stick with us. Go on the Keep Paranormal page for any live feeds and so on. And like I said, readings and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure Gary and I are crack onto his page at some point and do them. And we, Gary might come and join me on the Karen Frey Medium page. So we're still around. We haven't gone anywhere. You can still see us. Stay in touch. And yeah.
Are there any tickets left for the 6th of November?
We have tickets left for the 6th of November. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen here, guys. At the bottom down there. On the 6th of November, you can see myself, Gary, and Paul Langford. We will be doing a platform night from 7 p.m. onwards at the courthouse in Dudley on like he said, the 6th of November. Tickets are only £10. They are to be purchased in advance via the Keep Paranormal website. So you get 3 mediums on platform for £10. Also going to be some stalls there for you to have a look at during the breaks and so on. Bar will be open. You have to buy your own drinks. We're not that nice. But yeah, if you're not doing anything next Saturday, a week on Saturday, 6th of November, the courthouse in Dudley, come and join us. Grab your tickets from the keepinsidetheparanormal.co.uk website, and hope you can all join us. But like I said, tickets are in advance. Tickets are not available on the door on the night, unless we get some left over. If we do, then we will do some tickets on the door. But keep an eye on the pages to find out. That's on the Keep Paranormal page. Right, I'm going. Bye-bye.
See you Saturday. Look forward to it.
See you Saturday.
Good evening, folks. And again, thanks to Karen for keeping hold of the fort for me there. I was running a couple of minutes late. I was just finishing off framing a picture. So that's what I've been doing. Right, how's things? Where you're all up to? Where you going over the next few weeks? And what do you looking forward to this weekend as well? What you're up to? What I'd like to know is I do usually do some research, but again, I have been that amazing busy in and around some stories. What stories have you heard over the years in relation to the Halloween festival or this type of period of the October, November when the veils thin? What I want to know is, I really want you to be truly and honest now and type in what's the scariest moment in and around either scared movie wise or scared under the sheets where you've been really scared. As what's really spooked you? That's what I'm after tonight. And share your stories, you know. And as I did touch on my page, I think it was Monday night, where, you know, as a kid, it was like always tales of the unexpected, and go to bed at 9:30 or 10 o'clock as a youngster and think, should I really have watched that? And again, it's what's really scared you the most. Have you been in an unprecedented situation of a situation where, you know, you've been walking down a street and you feel like you're being watched or followed spiritually or anything like that scenarios? Give us some insights to what's really opened your eyes around taking you to that height of the scariness and the being afraid, or really, as they say, made you feel really, really uncomfortable. And as they always safely say, is like basically your hair stood on end and everything else has scared you witless, is what I'm after. Give us some stories, give us some insights. What have you come across in the paranormal world or the field where you're thinking, God, that was intense as well? Because we have had some intense moments out there when we have been investigating certain locations, and that feeling of being followed and watched as well. So what's your best captured that's really gone, do you know what, we wasn't alone that night? And I seen one picture there, I think, of that came up on somebody's memory the other day, and it was like they were talking and describing a spirit and an energy, and then they've actually captured it, and then they've gone, whoa, could sense that in the room. And then when you've got a picture to back that evidence up, that's what it's all about, is the evidence, isn't it? I've got the pleasure of you all weekend. Sounds good. Nearly road trip time. Right, here we go. Give us your insights, you know. And I think sometimes as a medium as well, when you've caught things out the corner of your eye and you can walk into a room or a very not nice building or something that's very weighted in there, and sometimes you can see it shape shifting across the roof, or you can see it scuttling around, and you know it's outside and it's bobbing inside, and you're worrying or wondering where it's going to pop up next as well. So them type of scenarios, when there's certain, I always say, when a whiter energy comes in or a whiter light comes into a room, you will get that activity of certain energies and spirits moving away as well. And I've seen it so many times. It's just, it can be quite hairy at the moment. You know, it can be really, really, get you on your back foot, I reckon. So again, if you've been caught out in a way where somebody might have been investigating and you've not had full protection up, you've not had that awareness of something that's gone on as well. Right. Gemma, when I was a kid, I had an awful experience where my clothes danced around my room in the dark. It stayed with me into my adulthood. That's, was it light material? Was it light, was it a specific, did it have any energies? Has it been an old top, or has it been somebody else's in the room that these clothes have been dancing around, or could you see it in the dark? Could you visualize it? Did you actually see it in normal lighted up room? Jem, let us know. Again, and there is a lot from youngsters where things have happened to us as a kid where we've been open to receive, and we are very susceptible to receiving as a youngster, aren't we? So when that case and the scenario happens, it does put us on the back foot as well, and it sticks with us as well. It just implants that situation, doesn't it? So again, tell us more of your stories as well. Looking forward to that evening. I think it's a week Saturday. Right, okay. Shadow figures arguing in your room as a child, always slept with the cover over your head and fingers in ears. Well, it's that scenario again, isn't it? As the youngster, it always seems to be quite susceptible as a youngster as well. And if I do any house clearances and all that, I will ask if youngsters have been christened and that type of thing, because sometimes you can have energies that will come in and say, oh, we want you in our team, we want you in the other side of the team, you know what I mean? So again, sometimes as well, you've got to work out what's going on in the buildings and the locations. That's more weighted, darker, lower energies. Again, but seeing shadow people and seeing certain things as well. And I would safely say even experiencing and walking home from somewhere as a youngster, through a woods or through down a country lane or something like that as well. It's really, really eerie, but certain things that's happened to me. It's like being touched or being clothes being pulled and all that scenario as well, but in an acknowledgement way as well, because not knowing as a youngster of the understanding of what spirits were after at that time in that period, it's getting to understanding on how everything's working as well. But as a youngster, your mind certainly races away, doesn't it? Tell me more, Rach. Tell me more, Jem. Wow. I mean, obviously, to take form of a physical shape, that is some energy or entity to have done that and come across that as well. Definitely, and I've seen it once in and around where I've asked for a spirit to form and manifestate, and it's took the laser grid all in as a figure. So when you seeing that even in the laser grid, you're seeing a figure and forming into shape and pulling all the light in on itself and showing itself as a feature, a height, a body, and a spirit as well, taking energy. But to actually see something like that would be very, very overpowering as well. And I know we all go out week in, week out, and we go here, there, and everywhere. But can you imagine that's what paranormal investigators are after in later life, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're after them experiences in later life. So if anyone wants to come on, I'm sure one of the moderators will put a link on if you want to come and share, because this is the idea for the platform and the show as well. Who's ganging up on me alongside Gemma and hiding under the keep? Right. Happened years ago. Didn't sleep well for over a decade. Again, it can be quite scarring as well, can't it, as well? I would always safely say as well, always return to your loved ones in spirit at any time that things have happened. I mean, even as we're going through adulthood now and we're moving forwards, you can have, just ask your team, your friends, family and loved ones to come in really close and work with you as well. And what's the true stories out there on some of the horror shows as well? What do you think is the real true in-depth stories of the horror shows that's out there, the the paranormal shows. What do you really think? I mean, as again, when I've watched certain shows, the ones that do intrigue me is when I've also picked up on something in and around the room that will give either before or after. You're like, yeah, I can sense that myself. So if they're in a certain location and building and you're thinking, hang on, there's a male or a female around or a child around, and then they start talking about that, that's when it starts getting intriguing for me, because that's where all your senses like virtually prick up and you zone in then on what's going on in and around the building and the location as well. So, but yeah, definitely it can scar you, can't it? I think as well with some of the dreams as well that you'd have, the mindset, the dream like state that you can have as well, with that can lead on to other things moving forwards as well, can't it? So as you're moving forwards as well, spirits can come in within your dreams as well, and they can play certain mind games around your open to receive state of mind. So when you've got an open receive state of mind, it's virtually the state of a mind of a medium. When you're relaxed and the spirits can come in and come forwards, they can give you different things on top of what you've received. So when you said you've not slept well for 10 years, I would safely say return to your friends, family and loved ones in spirit and ask them to come in really close. We know that now as an adult, but anybody else could be going through that scenario or situation as well. And we've all had the stories of children that, there's somebody here, there's somebody in the room. I can't go to sleep in that room. I can sleep in this room. And certain, the younger generation as well, they really are open, and it can play a lot of mind games as well with the youngsters as well. And sometimes when they come across with the stories, the people that might not be into this field, they can go, oh, yeah, whatever, you'll be all right. And then if there's certain more activity goes along, I've had it where somebody started to tell me something around what a child's picking up and sensing. I can link in and give it in, like there's somebody on the stairs and all this, that, and scenario as well. So when you tie the scenarios in with all the stories, it's just like, God, it's just get that link and the connection. When you've got the link and connection, it's just absolutely amazing. And I always think it leads to the bottom of the story of where you're after is the bottom of the story. Why is spirit showing you this? Why are they in and around as well? So it's always good to get to the bottom of the stories as well. So there is a link on there as well. Good evening, Sue. Hope you're well. We are talking about obviously Halloween, the veil being the thinnest at the moment in and around October, November time as well. And what stories have stuck with you, and what have you seen? What have you experienced as a person in and around spirits? What's the scariest scenario you've been in? Again, could even get off at the wrong train station and be in the middle of nowhere. There's been stories like that's gone on for years where people have just lost where they're up to in life. If you're too busy and you can rush ahead of yourself, it can put some frightening stories out there as well. So what have you seen? What stories have you seen in and around the years with that'll always stick out to you? And when you do look back and you think about certain myths and legends as well, there's amazing myths, legends, stories out there. And sometimes, again, it's like the Chinese whispers. You add on, there's little bits get added on, and the scenarios to the decades, the centuries, tying all that in and working out. If somebody does tell me a certain story or of a situation, you've got to take it back to the time in the decade and then work out of what would have gone on around that time in the period of what that person would have been. A lot of people were survival of the fittest, brutal. There was a lot more brutality going on back in them days as well, which led to a lot of spirits over on the other side. Then when they've passed, that's the mannerism they've brought back onto the communication side of it as well. So see where we're going. There is a link there if anyone wants to pop on. You're more than welcome. Angela, when we was at St. Helens Barracks, Mill Street Barracks, please enlighten the viewers for what you came across then as well. We've had some good nights there, and we've had some very weighted nights there as well. And I'm just going to dive in to see if I can find the picture of back down into the 1900s. The turn of the century was grave robbers, wasn't it? So there was a lot of that going on as well. Surprise, surprise, my storage is full. So I'm just going to try and catch hold of this picture if I can. And this was the Mill Street Barracks energy and entity that we came across. And there was one chap telling, a smaller chap telling the bigger chap what to do and all that as well. So I'm going to have a little look for that as I'm scrolling through. So please bear with me. Hopefully I can put my finger on it in a second. So what do you remember of that night at the barracks as well, what you've experienced? Was it down in the cellar? Hopefully come across this in a second. It will be in the memories. It's got to be there somewhere. How many times have you been to Mill Street Barracks? I enjoy a walk around there as well. And when I do go there, I can feel a lot of the wartime period as well, when it was virtually a hospital. And I can hear the bombs and the air raid sirens as well. And we've had quite a lot of uniformed people through there as well at the barracks. No joy at the minute. I'll have a little look on the other device as well. Against the wall from his chair. And through the recording, nothing came up. Also, as well, we had the table virtually spinning in the main hall as well, didn't we? A very large table as well. So I'm just going to go back onto the archives. And there's some good little rooms as well there, isn't it, in the barracks? 2 seconds. Where would you look forward to going with now, Angela? And do you reckon that scared you the most? I mean, I've seen people getting scratched and trying to work out where spirits are coming from when things like that are going on as well. It can take quite a lot to understand of what's actually gone on there as well. But I am having a look for that set picture now still as we are talking. And again, these two chaps, one was a grave robber and one was just following instructions, basically like his boss. And this drawing was absolutely amazing when people do the drawings of the spiritual art of what they've come across. Where are we? So any other experiences you've had as well? And sometimes even when I've been round the likes of just a nice little walk somewhere like Port Sunlight Village, you get a lot of spirits coming forwards there, and a lot of energies that depending on the time of year, especially this time of year. I've done a few walkarounds when it's been dry. I will not go out if it's wet and it's or windy or whatever. You've got to have the right conditions. You know, a nice dry night is always better to do the walkarounds and stuff like that as well. So next question, if anyone wants to come on, there is a link there. If you want a little chat, keep us going, see where we're up to. And I'm just trying to remember. Now this place was quite scary. I'm going to show you this place. I don't know if you can see that. That was the case I got asked to do where somebody disappeared, and it was 10 years past the case being closed by the police. And I'm not going to mention where the location was, obviously for personal details for the family that was involved with that. And I actually picked up on the information that what happened to that missing person. So again, even as a medium, that is quite scary to work out what's gone on as well. So that is very, very powerful in the spiritual work that we do. And when you receive the ailments and the impact of them being struck and hit, it is very, very strong, and you know, it does hit home, you know, that there is people there that's gone on the other side that's had these impact as well and gone through these things on life as well, you know, and then obviously that person's obviously gone missing then. So again, trying to work out what's gone on then with the spiritual contact we've had, and when you receive the ailments and stuff that's gone on as well, it's very, very powerful at what we try and do and help and work and do it in a professional way. But that is quite scary. Do you know what I mean? Because when you get that link, you automatically pick up on the spirit that's gone past and gone missing and been murdered, and you're actually picking up then straight away of that person in spirit, but you're also picking up on who the attacker was, not directly as the name of the person, but you can physically see what's happened there as well. So there's a lot comes through in more ways than one. So you're picking up on the spirit's energies that the person's gone missing with and died, and then you're virtually seeing their last visual sight on life and the story as well. So that's very, very powerful. Let's stick back with you. Right, see where we're going. Still looking for that picture. Please bear with me. It will come across it. Right. Couldn't go in the room downstairs. We're coughing. We're stored. Yeah, goes to the energy. And that's what I'm saying about that story. That was very, very eerie. And I do remember transfigurating the negative energy through. So if anyone's not seen Mill Street Barracks, that is Mill Street Barracks. That's from the outside. Again, it's more like a scout place. And I found the picture. So when we pick up spiritually of what's going on in and around, these were the two characters that were based at Mill Street Barracks. So they were virtually like your grave robbers back in the day. So again, they would have made money. There's a church behind it. They would have made money by working with local doctors and stuff like that. And yeah, we can supply eyes, we can supply hands. So in the early 1800s, 1880s, 1890s, the turn of the century, higher paid people would pay for certain parts to do their scientific work and research and stuff like that as well. So there is always more into it as well. But he was not a nice character, the chap with the meat cleaver as well. Very strong. And just see there's another picture in and around that as well. Yeah, but great nights again. Some great nights there. I must contact Jamie. And the room with the coffin led up to the church, because there's a door been bricked up there, and that led up to the church where the coffins were. But that was about 2 or 3 doors down as well. Has anyone been to Denby? Has anyone had any issues or problems when they've been to Denby as well? There's a lot of stuff and energies that's gone on there that's again quite strong and not of nice times back in the day. Oh, that picture, something in the top window. Yeah, on the barracks. I'll have to have a little look back as well. But again, come and give us some more stories as well. There's got to be a few more stories that you've got out there as well, folks. Interesting place. This was the place that I came across the RAF pilot that's re-looped. So sometimes you can have a re-loop in energy. So that was the place I came across the RAF pilot that came down, and he had all scarring. And that stuck with me for a little bit of a while, because it was like the middle of the summer and he just wanted virtually crossing over from the time he came across. But when you see the disfigurement as well, that can be very strong to take on board as well. the time again I had in Belfast when we went with the Titanic, seeing in the mind's eye when I closed my eyes the base of the ship being built in the dock, the dry dock. I can remember now. I think it's like 966 meters long or 996 meters long. It's something round about that. But I could virtually see the base of the ship propped up. Couldn't see the top of the ship, but just the base of the ship when I was in the basin and by the pump house. And again, just seeing a lot of young kids working there in the shipyard as youngsters, being like runners and stuff like that, and certain tragedies that's gone on in and around, natural accidents that's happened there as well. So come across stuff like that sticks with you forever. And even story of people that's been hung or been in and around the castle and gone over the walls, or general fighting, like I mentioned the other week, where walking around York, I always get challenged even walking around certain particular parts of the walls and the surroundings as well. Again, so what have you come across in that sense? Good evening, Paul. Right. Oh my God, while listening to you, I'm getting the impression of a man hanging from the beam. I'm not seeing him give any description. It's just a dark shadow. Feels such sadness. Again, I'll go back to the picture I was drawn to with that, Sue, and then see if you were seeing it. This is, I'm going to safely say, one of the top 3 or 4 castles I've ever been to. And this is what I was saying about the hanging and stuff like that as well. That's actually Dean Castle in Scotland. And there's a little run there, over there. On the other side, there's a well in the corner. And that was quite emotional when I walked in that place. There's stuff I can't say that I've seen in there. I don't mean spiritually. I've seen certain stuff in there that I can't divulge what I've seen. You know, it's been mind blowing what I've come across in there. Obviously, because of certain regulations, I was not asked to speak about it when I was shown this stuff. And again, seeing stuff in the mind's eye, and as things come to you, you might get more of that person now, Sue, stepping forwards. You know, if you're relating in and around Denby, that was very powerful as well. So I'm just going to go back onto the Denby. And again, back in the days, back into 1700s, there was actually wolves that lived on the land, and they were virtually like a pack of wolves following and feeding from Denby as well. So I'll have a little look for the picture of Denby as well. So this is going into the state prior to it being redone out again. Denby is now being redeveloped. So well, that's what it's like on the outside. But even with Denby, there's been thousands of spirit energies I've had to go and help and rescue there. It is not a place that I would go in. The first time I walked there, I was told to leave spiritually. It was too dangerous. The next time I returned about 3 or 4 weeks later, and I was like, why? What was all that about? There was open manholes where they'd had the floor coverings away, and I was virtually where I was prior to that. And it was like a 10-foot drop down the hole and all that again. And that is, if anyone's watched Valley of the Damned, that's virtually where the staircase is as well, which is just to this side. So that would have been one of the main entrances as well. But certain stories there stick with me forever and a day. And you don't just finish there when you visited the location. It's ongoing. So for 3, 4, 5 weeks, you might have other stuff drifting in and drifting out in time as well. that you've got to help and work and understand what's gone on. So see where. Hello, good evening, Mark. Just talking about Halloween, the veil, and basically the scariest that you remember being of any time, place in your life, and some of the scariest things you've come across, and that sticks with you forever and a day. What's the scariest you've ever been? You know, is it watching a program? Is it being in a location? Is it being just a natural youngster walking around somewhere? And a lot of people do have the images of things going on as a youngster as well that'll stand out with them forever and a day. You know, it's just that many places I've been to, and it's just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing how you have to develop and work out what's gone on in and around them scary places and the stories. Right, okay, let's see what you was given. 1579. That's amazing, Sue. Let's see where we're going. Gary, there was a man that hung from the land where the house, if you remember. God, there's that many places I've been. I think I remember by the chapel was quite overpowering, and around Denby, that was quite overpowering. And Denby is very, very one of them places that you never forget. And I've done an investigation here at Parkgate, and again, this is where allegedly Nelson pulled in back in his day, and there's a black and white building there, and that would have been a private school. But I remember Moston House School, that was called. But if you have a little Google of that as well at Parkgate Heritage, that dates back to 1860s, 1865-ish era. And I do believe that's all converted into flats now. I think there's a few famous footballers got apartments there as well, but I've heard some stories there. And again, we've got our favourite location of Newsham Park. I've had some very, very heavy energies to work with at that place as well. So these are all our places that I've visited and come across, and it's not as much as me being scared, it's the experience of the people that's been around you and some of their stories that they've picked up on as well, just like yourselves when you're picking up and seeing pictures of what's gone on in certain times and locations as well. Another one, some of the mills in Stockport, and you can actually see the kids working back in the day, and you can hear a lot of crying and seeing visually of people getting hurt and injured and maimed or stuff like that. Sticks out with you as a medium, where children have been hurt in the milling process as well. And again, it's just it is strong, you know, but that we keep working to get to the bottom of the stories as well. Let's see where we're going now. You saw the Newsham Park one. Yes, not had any chance to get there yet. Newsham Park is it is up for sale, I believe, but it is 90,000 square feet, 99,000 square feet of building. It would be an amazing place to redevelop and keep it going and keep it on with, you know, the history of the building, keep it going, keep it alive. Again, I went to this famous brickworks in Anglesey, and there was a lot of stories there from the days and the times of a lot of hard work and hardship that people went through as well. So there's a lot of times that people went through on the hardship. Being with you, Mark. There's one thing about Mark, when I go investigating and Mark's around, I can guarantee, I think we went up to Gainsborough, old police station, and you can always guarantee if I'm sat in one corner of the room, Mark's in the other, which is always nice because, again, I work and I don't force anything onto people, but it's like stay away from Gary night. And again, Mark's learned wisely. So again, bringing the intelligence of spirits forward and sharing their stories is is what it's all about, and this is why we do it. But again, there's been some amazing evidence tying into what we do, why we do it. You're talking about my house in Kirby. Beautiful hall is Newsham Park. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Hope you're well. And Mark agrees with me there. Talking about the scariest things that you've seen, come across, had to deal with from a youngster. A lot of people in our days, you know, we've all learned to deal with different things as we've been given it spiritually. And we're talking about Halloween. What's the scariest thing you've seen? What film wouldn't you watch again? You know, what's really had you under the blanket, scared out your wits as well. Now, here's an interesting place. If anyone's not been here, I recommend you go there. Congleton, the Lion and Swan. I think there's a very famous 20 there. And even when I walked in the daylight, the lights were flickering on and off in that place. Yeah, there we go. Room 20. That's not bad for the memory. So in Congleton in Cheshire, and there's also believes that if the ladies out there, if you touch the fireplace, then you become pregnant. So there's been a few stories like that in the old witches' tales as well. Right, where are we up to? Tell me more about your house, Angela, for people that don't know. Just give us some more insight there, what you've come across and what you've experienced there. What have you experienced around your own location and land? I always see things as well where a lot of the air raid shelters, and especially the tube stations in London, if I see a clip or something, I'm just like, I can just envisage certain things straight away. So I'd like to do a little bit more down the tube stations in London. Has anybody ever been to Woodchester Mansion? And somebody put a picture on it the other day. And there's quite a lot on the land there as well, even outside. Without going into the place as well, I've come across quite a few witches from the 1600s upwards as well. Quite airy characters coming through there. Right, let's see where we're going. Dark Spirit, which touched me. This is going to be Drakelow Tunnels, this, I know that. Yeah, I've actually gone past the picture of that, to be honest with you. Again, we have covered this over the last few weeks, and I do feel that energy and entity virtually had us in a corner, and it wasn't a happy spirit as well. Where did I have that the other week? That actually came through somewhere the other week, that energy and entity. I think we were in the Spirit House. No, it wasn't the Spirit House. It was Falstaff. Actually came through in Falstaff. A similar energy, one of its friends. So they do gang up some nights, and they do try and pop up in different places as well. It's okay. The Exorcist film. All right. What was the one in the was it Alien? Was it the one in the ice station as well? That I wasn't up for any of that. You go into Woodchester. Yes, Neil, it's to me, I always safely say I went there within a 2-week period. I went there with the large group to Woodchester Mansion. It was a all right night. And we had a few bits going up and down the corridors and little bits of noises here, there, and everywhere. And then I got a phone call to go back about 6 days later. There was only 5 of us in the whole building. And that night we had doors closed and everything. And it was just, I had people actually running down the corridors back to the hub. So I said, yeah, I'm just changing some batteries and the equipment. I'll be back with you in a minute. You know, they set off after the break, and I actually had grown men running back into the hub that night. So again, you've got to go along and experience it as well. So, just having a look. Has anyone ever been to any mines or anything like that as well? That I went to a mine, I think it's in Wigan, and I was actually called back there a few weeks later. Hopefully it goes back the right way. And obviously that's all the engine room and that as well for the shafts and all the big motors and that. And I had to go back because obviously there was injuries in the times and a disaster, and I had to go back there and do some rescuing as well a few weeks later. So even as a medium, you know, you're traveling back to the same place a couple of times to help understanding of what's actually gone on there as well. Right, let's see where we're going. There's 6 of us. Look forward to it. Yeah, what I find as well is bizarre. You won't get a signal while you're there in Woodchester Mansion. You seem to go up and up and up. And when you actually get there, it just seems to drop in a dip right at the top. So it all seems to drop down in a dip towards the top of the peak of where it's actually located as well. Tin mines in Cornwall. So I was just having a little look at a clip there. I'm not going to play it because I can't remember the words that was actually on it. If there was some outspoken words. And has anybody been up to Jedburgh? Has anybody been up to the Abbey there? That was quite mysterious, just walking around the Abbey. Overwhelmed me with energy as well. So would you say that's been your scariest moment has been Drakelow Tunnels, Tash? A lot of energies can put their mannerisms and their emotions on you, and they can take it a week or two to shrug them off and push them back as well out your aura. So when you've mixed and blended in and around the spirit, again, that's Jedburgh Abbey. A lot of water flowing through that place as well, right down by the side, and that was quite powerful being on that land as well. On the times, and again, even walking up to Jedburgh Jail, putting your hand on the door and getting the residual energies of just the location and the building and the door and what had gone on. And I'm just trying to remember the name of this other place. I always forget it. Have you ever done the D-Day tunnels, guys, in Portsmouth? No, hang on. I done filming with Brian. It'll come to me in a minute. He was on MH, Brian Shepherd, and we actually, I think it was Fort Widley. I'd done Fort Widley. If that's the same D-Day tunnels or whether it's got a different name, I'd done Fort Widley, and again, I had a massive energy gush past us in the tunnel, and it did knock me at breast. It just took me back as it rushed past me, but I had to step aside as it was coming towards us. And the lovely Brian Shepherd done some amazing drawing that night as well. So that'll always stick with me down in Portsmouth, Fort Widley. But again, that was strong as well. I always forget the name of this place. And Chapel. What's a chapel outside Edinburgh? Oh, come on. I think they've done one of the famous films there with Tom Hanks. Roslyn Chapel. Now, that was some amazing place. And Roslyn Castle as well. Just even walking around there, that was mind-blowing, the information we got that night. And that got really eerie round by the castle as well, Roslyn Castle. If anyone's not been to Roslyn Castle, go to Roslyn Castle, and you can do Roslyn Chapel as well. Some amazing hotels to stay up there as well. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Right, see where we're going. Oh, yeah, I've got a picture of that as well in the hospital section. Scared you? I have actually got that drawn in, I think. Just gone past it as well. So we are doing a little bit of a reminiscence. That is what you're talking about, Tash. That was the hospital section. There's the hospital bed. in that little room. And that was a lot to deal with that night. That had all your cackles on end all night and full protection up, and you knew you had a paranormal hangover the next day after that as well. Right, let's see where we're going. That's the energy and entity that came around Tash that she was scared of as well. And there was one or two, it formed as another shape. It obviously, so again, we had some characters there as well. And there's your little witch. Rosemary. The doorway was scary. It certainly was. Anger and contempt was so real. So there's loads of places that I've been to as well. They're actually in a book around this investigation over in Hollywood. So that's actually Bolton Abbey. And that's where we had, when we went to Bolton Abbey, there was 2 or 3 of the team down the bottom end of the main hall and stretch. And what happened there was it virtually had like a shield. So they were talking back to us, but we couldn't hear them. So it was just like there'd been rituals gone on there and stuff like that. So it was very, very weighted. And then a gentleman got floored and flattened as this energy left out and moved away from us and was virtually pushed away. It virtually flattened one of the team members, and he was dazed for about 45 minutes. So it took him a long time to actually come around and about. Free readings with Indigo, 10:15. That's excellent. Rosemary was lovely. She certainly was as well. So obviously loads of places of stuff that we've been in and around and experienced. Give us your stories as well. So here's another one coming through for Angela. Let's see what we can do with this one. When you moved into the house in 2004, I felt something wrong with the house. You told the ex, feel like something hanged. It felt like you had to salt the house. Everything in your life was going wrong. Husband left when he got through. She never settled, crying. And sage the house, yeah, always balance and sage. Just trying to get the last bit there. Sorry, just trying to get the last bit. So I'm going to just take that off and see if it comes up with the last bit. All right. Again, you can have some experiences where a lot of things can test you to the limit. A lot of things do test you to the limit as well. Two seconds. Quite a very strong one sensation I had that I had to deal with was, again, a bit of a gangland war that went on in and around a certain area. And 2 actual different gangland members were in the same cemetery. And that was very overpowering. And then they were started trying to channel and jump in at the same time as well. So there was a bit of an overrush that evening of like asking them to work and take the time. But certain places you can go of getting to their story as well. That was very, very, very scary evening there as well. Just a local churchyard as well. But 2 gangland members, 20 graves apart, but still virtually in cohesion with other and not settled as well. If anyone's not been to Birkenhead Priory, I recommend that. That's amazing walk around in the day. And it's right over Camel Airs as well. So back in the day, the Priory would have had a lot of merchandise coming through, exotic animals and certain, exquisite stuff as well being stored there on the land. So Birkenhead Priory is always a good one. But again, people go into new homes and places, back onto that one with Angela. always balance and cleanse, open all the windows, let fresh air in as soon as you move in, and then sage, balance, cleanse. It's always worth it, because sometimes you can move into a property and then obviously it can start changing straight away as soon as you're the battery pack, so it starts working with you. So the good stories can come through, and then obviously the weighted stories can come through as well. No, I was due. Do you know what? I've been due this place, I'm going to say, about 5 or 6 times, and for certain different reasons, I haven't been able to get there. I was due there within the last 18 months, and then obviously that put a stop to that. So I'm absolutely gutted, but I do need to get there. So again, seeing spirits and experiments that you do out on the field as well, and when you've had your understanding of your investigation on the night, it is mind-blowing as well. How you can get to the bottom of the stories. That is the Abbey. That is Birkenhead Priory. That's on the banks of the River Mersey. I do recommend people go there as well. Some amazing energies and entities that's come around and about on that night as well. So I've actually had certain energies come through and channel through other people when they wasn't expecting it as well. Not working in a paranormal environment, or just a general energy that's come through a person when they've been open to receive and been unwinding and chilling out. There's actually spirit energies that's come through to talk directly to me, and that's like, oh, hang on, there's a time and a place, no other people around, it's just 2 people, and that's been very, very powerful situation as well. And I love this place. I'm going to show you this before I go. I know we're running into the hour as well already, and I do apologise. This is Walton Hall. Now, it's in quite a poor state of repair at the moment, but that is former Judge Jeffrey's Hall, and I do love that place as well. I love all the history around that stuff that comes through with spirits and all the energies and entities that we come across when we go there. And people are surprised when I've had certain different things from like the ancient ramming, and then there's certain stories that you're waiting to come out that other people might not have picked up on a lot of the famous locations, and you're like, right, okay, I've received that. It'll come through and filter through in time as well. Right, see where we're going. I will wrap the show up again in about 5 minutes, because I do know there's some readings coming on. It's about 10:15. Being isolated mainly since only one thing. Again, once you balance and cleanse, it usually helps turn the energy around, turn the weightedness around as well. And sometimes you can have a figure that will come forward to you and not say anything to you, and it'll show themselves, and it's like, what was all that about? And then you might go back to that place 3 or 4 times, especially some of the famous locations. And I had this lovely energy lady come to me, and she was from the ancient ramming, but she didn't speak, she didn't talk, she didn't say anything until obviously I went back a few visits later and investigations later. And again, it's all about going back at different times of year as well, different scenarios and situation come through. But at the time, that was quite scary, where you see somebody shuffling towards you and walking towards you spiritually, and you're like, oh, hang on, what's all this about? And then again, it can be 3 or 4 times down the line with the investigations as well. Hi, Nige. Not been there for a while. Need to see Charlie and a catch up. Definitely, we definitely got to do the ramming as well. I think the last time I was there, it was actually summer solstice. So what are we now? 2021 would have been 2019 summer solstice. I think that was the last time I was there. but do need to go back. Right, and this is, got to show you this picture if I can find it. Where are we? There we go. Remember I was saying to you about Birkenhead Priory. Now this is in the daytime. So me and the lovely cameraman Phil, we dressed up in some costume. So that heightens the energy and the energy that's going on. And then when you zoomed in and somebody took the screenshot of the live and the pictures, that was directly behind it. When I actually zoomed in, I had a red mark right across my neck as well, which was quite bizarre, which I don't know whether that'll show up on there, but there's actually a red mark on my neck as well. It's not actually showing up on there, but it was all to one side. But that's in the daytime. So that's been captured in the daytime as well. So where are you looking at going at? What you're looking forward to watching on the TV? Is there a certain program you're looking at? Margam Castle, that was a good investigation as well. David, what are you saying there? You'll be pleased to know, going to go back into the workshop building. Not gone back into the workshop building since, Tash. Hey, Janice, hope you're well, darling. Just talking about some of the energies and entities that have scared us along our road and path. What scared you over the years? I know we've certainly come across a few things back in the days as we've been moving forward and investigating, and what stuck out with you, what programs don't you like? Actually, I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I will go in a minute. I've got about a couple of minutes left. I went to a wedding, and then within 20 minutes of being at the wedding, I'm picking up on all the visitors, loads of visitors from the past, and a lot of heavy bullies in the time, back in the days, and from the 60s and the 70s as well. So I'd see where we're going. We're actually going to Derby Jail on Saturday night. And Derby Jail is, I've been there a few times, but yeah, sitting in front of the fire, hat on his head, stroking the fire for comfort. Amazing, Jennifer. It wouldn't surprise me as well that they already know that you're coming along and you're going to be in and around these certain locations prior to us getting there as well. So I'll take some pictures as soon as I get there. As soon as I start talking about it, my throat's getting tighter as well, tickly. So I think I've got like a throat infection at the moment, spiritually. I think infection, some type of infection. Feel all my glands are swollen as well with that chap. Run down, not very well. So we'll see if we get any more of that as well. I tell you what I always find hard as well is the Masonic lodges. It takes time to get through the energies in the Masonic lodges. Zombies. But A wing is active. Shepton Mallet. Help Me House is Haunted on Channel 17. Love it. Love it again. Game changer. The Gatekeeper. A lot of gatekeepers come through as well, Janice. We have had some fun times, darling. Right. We're on to an hour and 10 minutes. I know there's another show coming up on the platform, so I don't know whether they'll run across or what. Was the old cinema turned into the bingo hall? It used to be under we went to somewhere in Yorkshire that was an old theatre and a bingo hall. There are some amazing places. Just trying to look where that one was. Yeah, Masonic Lodges. I always find they take time to come around and about. There's one of my favourite places as well, Plasteg. Now that's a place to investigate, and I'll always promote Plasteg. It is welcoming and. Oh, I've got a better picture than that for Plasteg. Actually, that could have been a Denby one from the side. Sorry. Yeah, I think that was. I'll have a look for Plasteg in a second. Anybody been up to Edinburgh? Shark bait. One of your uncles was a gamekeeper in Kent. It is very interesting. I always say spirits that look after the lie of the land. There's the picture I was after. So that's Plasteg, which I love. I love that place. Love investigating there. And that is Derby Goal. That's the back of Derby Jail. So we're going there this Saturday. It's been a while since I've been there, but look forward to it. But again, some of the stories that we've come across, you have to catch up with me with Paige. We'll do a follow-on for this. I'll do some research into some of the amazing stories that a lot of people have experienced in their time. I'll do a follow-up to this. So we'll call this part 1, and I will do a catch-up on my page as well. Right. Any more questions? It is definitely all part of this experience. Let's see what Jennifer's saying. Air files with Linda. I'll write that down. I'll have a little look. Thanks for that, Jennifer. Edinburgh Castle. When you walk up there, it just seems to be like, I always safely say, the public's not wanted. I always feel that energies are keeping a lot of the public from going through. I know you can pay to go in there or have a walk around or whatever, but even on the approachment on the way up, it just seems to be, you need to step back, you need to step back. So whether that's an English thing against the Scots, I don't know. Again, from there, I went straight to Stirling, and you could feel the battle over the bridge and all down by the river at Stirling. That was within 12 hours of getting bombarded just by spirits coming through. But Edinburgh, amazing. Everything a reason, haven't you learned that? Yes, definitely. Hello, Kels. Late as per usual. I'll look forward to not seeing you on Saturday, but I do believe you're going out for the day. Yeah, the stately homes as well. National Trust, English Heritage, Scottish Heritage as well. Remember where there's all positive and negative. Right, I'm going to go. I guess that's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from the team. It's been a pleasure. Loads of love and white light to you all out there. Please catch up with us on the platform, on my page. We'll do some more readings. So I'm going to say thanks for tuning in. I'm going to say loads of love and light to you all. Yes, most definitely, Kel. Stay safe, stay strong. Again, it's all about, it's your hour. I'm going to leave it there. Stay safe, stay strong, and catch up with you soon, folks. Please tune in for the show after this. Stay safe. Good night, lovely. See you Saturday. See you Saturday, Dave.